So, a lot of people have been asking me about midlife crises. So, the conceptualization of a crisis is kind of unhelpful because a midlife crisis can actually be considered a good thing in that you're introspecting a lot about what's meaningful to you. Do you really want to go on the rest of your life living the way that you have been up until now? This is a super good, useful time to introspect about your life and your values. We're talking about career, parenting, and of course, your marriage. The caricature of a man, at least going through a midlife crisis, is that he leaves his wife, he gets a Porsche, he does like all of these things, goes to the gym, wants to act 20 years younger. But that's not generally what I see in my practice. I mean, sure, sometimes, but mostly I see that men and women in midlife, they have an epiphany that they haven't been really living their life mindfully and intentionally, and they really want to figure out how to live in accordance with their values. So they re-examine a lot of things and they say, am I really happy with this? You don't get divorced at midlife if you've been working on the relationship before. So when people ask how to prevent a midlife crisis, work on your relationship, work on living in accordance with your values. Something that therapy is very useful, helping people figure out and clarify their values and see if the way that they're living is in line with their values. But do this stuff before. Start like in your 30s or 40s. Start to go to therapy. Start to think about what you really want. What do you want your legacy to be? What do you want your life to have been about? If you're reckoning with these issues, and of course, work on your marriage, work on deepening your connection and shoring up your marriage by still getting to know each other and engaging with each other on a deep level instead of just a small talk logistical level. If people work on themselves and their marriage, then they're much less susceptible to having some sort of crisis at midlife that leads to impulsive behavior. Having an examined life before you hit any sort of midlife inflection point can really prevent you from having these big reactions like, oh my God, my life hasn't been worth anything and I have to go in a whole new direction. You should be consistently in a process of evaluating and reevaluating your life, your marriage, your relationship, your career, your parenting, and figuring out if the way that you're living makes sense to you and feels good on a deep level.